Meanwhile, tonight, Idalia isn't finished yet. The tropical storm now pounding the Carolinas. Water is flooding the streets of downtown Charleston. And this was the scene just north of Charleston. Idalia spawning a tornado that sent a car flying. And it made landfall this morning as a strong Category 3 hurricane when it slammed into Florida's Big Bend region. Power is out. Towns are flooded, people trapped and being rescued. We're going to have more on the damage left behind by Idalia in a moment. But first, Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg with where the storm is now. Lee?
All right, Chad, we began the day with a 130-mile-per-hour Cat 4 hurricane, diminished a little bit toward landfall, and now we're down to a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm moving through South Carolina, ready to move into North Carolina. Made landfall before 8 o'clock in the morning on the Big Bend. The max sustained winds are 125 miles an hour at landfall. The highest gust we saw at the surface was Perry, Florida, which got crushed, 85-mile-per-hour gusts. Record storm surges along the west coast, 7 feet at Cedar Key, and high rainfall total, nearly 9.5 inches of rain at Clearwater Beach, and a half-foot of rain across parts of Georgia and into the Carolinas. Florida starting to dry out, some light showers there. It's all about the Carolinas right now. Very heavy rainfall, flooding Charleston. The dunes were breached there, and it's been extensive flooding. We had a tornado warning recently right on the North-South Carolina border. Now there's a flood warnings out, but you look at all these storm reports, multiple tornadoes here. That was actually in North Myrtle Beach, the latest report of a tornado, and you can see the reports coming out of Charleston with the roads flooded right into the city. So this is the futurecast here. Over the next several hours, everything moves into North Carolina. By midday, early afternoon, a lot of the rain is pushing offshore as Idalia will say goodbye and head out to sea toward Bermuda, which got lashed by Franklin today. Now, this will still send more swells and rip currents our way into the next probably 48 hours. We have coastal flood advisories continuing overnight. That's because of the full moon, of course, and also because of Franklin. 72 degrees our temperature right now. Boy, we've been cooling off. We'll be in the 50s in some northern suburbs tomorrow morning, maybe even a light jacket. Some high clouds from Idalia. That'll go away during the afternoon hours. We're just in a top 10 day on Friday and beyond. The weekend just looks amazing. Can't wait to tell you about it. Look at the rain threats. Little to nothing through midweek next week. You're accurate with the forecast in just a few minutes. Joe and Sade?
Lee, we've got more on the storm damage, and some of the images coming out of Florida are just unbelievable. It'll likely take days, if not weeks, to assess the extent of the damage there. ABC's Ike Ajachi reports tonight from the storm zone in Florida.
Hurricane Idalia leaving a path of destruction all across the southeast. The powerful hurricane making landfall as a Category 3 storm around 7:45 Wednesday morning, with sustained winds near 125 miles per hour. It weakened throughout the day and is now a tropical storm as it moved through Georgia and the Carolinas. In Georgia, rain totals in excess of 7 inches in some parts, with wind gusts nearing 70 miles per hour. And in South Carolina,
that car's flying!
An apparent tornado flipping this car outside Charleston, with storm surges there reaching up to 9 feet with high tide, flooding downtown. Meanwhile, in Florida, residents there are dealing with Idalia's path of destruction. The storm's eye wall slamming the shoreline in Perry. High winds snapping trees, uprooting stop signs, and even tearing apart this McDonald's Golden Arches sign.
It's starting to circulate around, and when that rain hits you, I mean, it's like nails right to the face.
On Cedar Key, record-breaking storm surge, nearly 7 feet of water, and this drone footage showing widespread flooding in Crystal River. In Pasco County, north of Tampa, the sheriff's office helping rescue dozens of people and pets from flooded neighborhoods. This massive tree landing on the governor's mansion, hundreds of thousands losing power. President Biden pledging federal support to the region.
If there's anything the states need right now, I'm ready to mobilize that support of what they need.
Tampa International Airport has opened for arrivals only, but officials say full operations should begin on Thursday morning.